good, y'all? It's Jay here. We just finna get into some, Atlanta's secret gang war. Let me know what y'all think of it so far, man. Yeah, we finna get into it. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. But yeah, let's see.
According to police reports and court documents, on the 10th of December 2020, YFN Lucci and 3 other men drove by car to a location in Atlanta. One of the people Lucci was with was named James Adams. He allegedly recorded himself whilst in the car with Lucci, telling the camera that they planned to fuck the city up. Now, the 2 other men that YFN Lucci was with were Rayvon Boyd, aka CP3, a rapper from Miami, and a man named Leroy Pitts. According to a warrant, Lucci drove his car full of hitters to the 900 block of Dimmock Street at around 5:15 p.m. pulling onto a shoulder when Adams and Boyd began to open fire from the car. Whoever they were shooting at shot back, with that man, James Adams, in Lucci's car being fatally struck in the head, dying, and subsequently being thrown from the vehicle, or as the police described it, manually ejected. They threw him out the car, with a harrowing 911 phone call being made by an innocent woman who was just passing by and found this dead body in the street.
What's the address of your emergency?
We need an ambulance. Somebody is laying out. Somebody, I don't know if he barely.
Let me connect you. Stay on the line.
Somebody just threw him out of the car.
Let me connect you to the ambulance.
Huh? He's still trying to fight for his life.
EMS, what's the address of the emergency?
Baby, can y'all please get an ambulance here? This man is dying. He's shot in the head. He just took his last breath, man.
What street are you on, ma'am? Can you give him your location, please, for the ambulance to give the guy some help?
What is his address? Man, this man just took his last breath, man.
Man, we have help on the way already. Tell me exactly what happened.
We don't know. Me and my sister, we were just walking down the street, and somebody just rolled down the street with a man hanging out the car. They just pushed him out the truck and left him for dead.
Ma'am, I thought you said he was shot in the head.
Yes, he is shot in the head. They threw him out the car. He just died. He just took his last breath.
We have the ambulance already on the way, okay?
Okay.
And can you tell me what kind of vehicle?
Listen, you go ahead and get fire and PD and round.
Can you tell me what kind of vehicle he was stolen from, please?
White.
A white car, truck, or SUV?
SUV.
What direction did the SUV
yes,
go?
His whole body was just hanging out the car.
Listen, just stay on the phone. Can you tell me if you saw any of the people that were driving the car, whether they adults or kids?
They were driving real fast, and we seen his.
All right.
Now, one of the men that they were shooting at eventually turned up at a local fire station with a gunshot wound, and just over a month after the incident itself, YFN Lucci was identified as the driver of that car. Now, weirdly, in between the shooting and his arrest, YFN Lucci appears on DJ Vlad for an interview once again. Now, it's unclear exactly when the interview was recorded, but the comments are frankly wild, with many people suggesting that Detective Vlad may have had something to do with building the case. Now, obviously that's just jokes, but there were some very interesting and illuminating moments in this interview. Lucci explained that at this point things were so dangerous for him in his city that he had to ride around in a bulletproof car.
Well, you actually have a bulletproof GMC?
Yeah.
Okay.
I paid $145 for it.
That's not bad.
Nah, hell nah, not to save your life.
Lucci also commented on the feud with Thugger, saying that there was nothing to work out between them, and also saying that he never sees him in Atlanta.
But could it be worked out? Y'all do some music together?
Ain't nothing to work out. He in LA. I'm in the A. Shit.
So you're saying he doesn't even stay in Atlanta anymore?
I don't never see him.
Now, Lucci would eventually turn himself into the police on the 15th of January 2021, with Young Thug reacting to the news, saying free all, because he doesn't want to see anyone in jail, op or not. And soon, Thug's wish would come true, as Lucci would appear in court after a few days in jail, eventually bailing out on $500,000 bond. Being seen on social media February 2021, celebrating his release after bonding out.
If we're home, you hear me? I had to switch the jacket inside out, man. I didn't want to come out the same way I went in. I got this shit on my ice. It's bigger than a motherfucker.
Now, in my opinion, it's not unthinkable that Lucci could beat a case where he was the driver in a drill gone wrong where somebody in his car ended up getting killed. Problem is, the Atlanta police would have a trump card up their sleeve, because Lucci's mere involvement and proximity to this tragic mess placed him right in the middle of a tangled mess of interstate criminals. This allowed the Atlanta police to wrap him up, along with a bunch of his friends, in a massive racketeering case, which would be much harder to beat than those original charges for being in that car. And in May 2021, YFN Lucci probably had the most terrifying moment of his life, when the Fulton County grand jury issued a 75-page, 106-count indictment after a 6-month investigation, naming YFN Lucci among around a dozen other individuals in a massive racketeering conspiracy case targeting Atlanta blood gangs with ties to Bloods in different states.
New at 6, a massive gang indictment in Fulton County charged a dozen people with a racketeering conspiracy, including a famous musical artist, YFN Lucci.
Now, I don't never really be seeing them niggas talk about nobody in the news. But apparently they be on that shit though. Apparently.
Indictment says that Lucci's an associate of the Bloods gang.
And in this instance, YFN Lucci's music wasn't going to do him any favors, because prosecutors had directly used his songs, videos, and lyrics as proof of his Blood membership.
Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis says her team used a YouTube music video entitled Shine On, quote, which includes lyrics promoting criminal gang activity in a massive RICO or racketeering indictment to shine a light on the alleged gang associations of two of the performers in the video, music megastar YFN Lucci, real name Rayshawn Bennett, and Justin Ushry, aka Bloody J, two of a dozen defendants in the case, which involves a variety of crimes. Investigators also used social media posts. We pulled several off Instagram that seemed to match descriptions in the indictment to help build their gang case.
And this was a serious indictment with a whole bunch of counts of racketeering related to crimes like aggravated assault, murder, unlawful gun possession, armed robbery, property damage, theft, and other gang-related charges. And along with Lucci, also charged in the indictment was Big Atlanta Blood, an early comrade of Young Thug and Lucci, Bloody J, whose YouTube uploads were used as direct proof that he was indeed a big old blood. With both YFN Lucci and Bloody J's appearance in the music video for Shine On being cited in the indictment, and the indictment itself went on to explain the complex web of interstate gang activity that had been going on between YFN and the Bloods in other states. The indictment said that YFN was an Atlanta Blood set affiliated with the original Inglewood family Bloods from Los Angeles, with ties to the Atlanta Blood Gang. It goes on to connect them to a Miami-based crew of Bloods called the Bloodhounds that emerged from the 13th Avenue Gang, explaining that in Atlanta, the Inglewood family Bloods from LA are represented by local crews like ABG and Bird Gang under a national Blood umbrella that also incorporated some of these Miami sets. And whilst this indictment didn't target Young Thug or the YSL crew specifically, it did mention them and attempt to explain how their structure works, with it being said that YSL were apparently aligned with the Rolling 60s Crips from LA, which is maybe why we saw that early collab between Bloody J, Young Thug, and Nipsey Hussle, who was actually on that track talking about how Rolling 60s gangbang in different states. So this massive indictment puts the YFN crew in direct rivalry with the YSL crew, even going as far as to specifically describe the YSL members as referring to themselves as slats, and suggesting that their ops refer to themselves as SK or slat killers. Numerous YFN members are named in the indictment as having been spotted on social media referring to themselves as slat killers, and unfortunately for Lucci, the feds would make a whole bunch of effort to tie his gang activity to his music career, alleging that YFN started around 2015 and was mainly centered around Lucci himself, describing YFN as a racket as part of the racketeering case, going on to say that the gang not only committed crimes to further the organization, but also accused them of using social media to advertise the strength and influence of the gang, with specific social media moments being cited, like a clip of YFN Lucci posing with a gun, along with a caption where he allegedly had said, "I'm ready to noodle me an N-word." The cops said that the YFN recording studio was actually a gang stronghold, which even ended up getting shot up in a drive-by, and apparently after it was shot up, Lucci was caught on a jailhouse phone recording, telling his homies, "We are gang, and we need to move more dangerous like we're at war." The indictment went on to say that the 13th Avenue Hot Boys from Miami, who evolved into a blood set called the Bloodhounds, were connected with the YFN crew through music, with Lucci himself apparently being given access to dangerous and inaccessible parts of Miami when visiting there to film music videos, referring specifically to social media posts of Lucci in the Pork and Beans projects, a notoriously rough Miami hood where he pulled up to film music videos.
Motherfucking bean right now.
Y'all know what the fuck going on, man.
A whole lot of gang shit, a whole lot of fly shit. You know, talking on camera, so that shit. Ain't no hood, ain't no city where they say I can't go. And if that, I probably been that shit.
Now, the cops actually state that simply being on social media tagged in the Pork and Beans projects is enough to prove Lucci's leadership role in an interstate criminal enterprise. Now, that might be a little bit of a stretch, but regardless, the cops say that these music collabs eventually flourished into a full-blown alliance in the streets between these two criminal blood sets. Now, this is how CP3, the rapper from Miami, ended up getting tangled up in that shooting where Lucci was driving and a man died, with CP3 being named in the indictment that also referenced his first day out rap music video. Frankly, Lucci's biggest mistake was being in that car when that shooting went down. Having been the driver of that car, Lucci is implicated in this indictment for murder, along with CP3 and Leroy Pitts, with the indictment saying that these three men caused the death of James Adams by participating in an assault and shooting at a number of other people who shot back. But here's the thing, beating that complicated charge on its own might not have been impossible, but it's what happened after that has made Lucci look so much worse. The indictment suggests that following this tragic incident, Lucci allegedly made things worse for himself by tampering with evidence, by hiding the vehicle used in the fatal incident, then making matters even worse. All three people that survived being in that car are also charged with hiring the firearms used in the crime, and the situation wasn't made any better by social media posts by Lucci and his crew either, with Lucci being quoted having posted to his IG a few months after the incident, saying whenever he gets drunk he thinks about murder. Separate to that, another damning allegation against Lucci's character in this indictment is a claim that on the 1st of August 2020, Lucci strangled and beat a man just for playing the Ox music. And then, apparently, Lucci paid off the guy to avoid being charged. Not a good look for Lucci, and beyond that, several other people around him face pretty damning allegations on their own too. A 22nd of September 29 incident where a YFN associate named Ty shot a man, a May 25th 2020 armed robbery where an AK-47 was used and shots were fired, an August the 27th 2020 aggravated assault, an October the 16th 2020 armed robbery and aggravated assault, felony murder on December 10th for that incident with the car, an 18th December charge for tampering with evidence, along with a whole bunch more incriminating social media documentation, such as the YFN affiliate Nard, who is apparently caught on social media saying he has so many bodies he feels like John Wick, as well as a number of YFN affiliates apparently being caught in a group chat repeatedly saying free somebody called No Love, which the indictment states is actually the person who is currently locked up for having shot Lil Duke from YSL at the Magic City nightclub. That's a lot of accusations. It's a lot to be accused of, and it's going to be a lot to fight. YFN Lucci's lawyer has outright denied the charges, saying Lucci is a successful recording artist, and his First Amendment rights protect him in saying whatever he wants in his songs and social media.
Now, he's not a gang member. What he is an internationally recognized musical artist that is a triple platinum winner.
Lucci's lawyer, Drew Findling, added,
his First Amendment right to musically express himself is no different than the famous rock song, I Shot the Sheriff. It's not criminal activity.
I'm not sure whether that argument's going to be enough to convince the feds. And as of today, YFN Lucci is still waiting to face this enormous RICO case. And to make matters even worse, while he was locked up, YFN Lucci just caught another major loss for his music career, apparently being ordered to repay $1.7 million after losing a case alleging that he had stolen the biggest hit of his career, Every Day We Live. And that, unfortunately, is where the YFN situation is still to this day. And no matter how you look at it, or what you choose to believe, I think it's safe to say that right now, things couldn't possibly get worse for YFN Lucci. Look, the whole YFN crew could beat this case and Lucci could be home again soon, ready to kickstart his rap career once again. And if there's genuinely more to the story and Lucci is completely innocent, I really do hope that we see him back on the scene doing positive things. But if there's one big message that I've gotten personally from this particular story, it's that realistically, no matter who you are, no matter how far in your career you are, you should be very careful when it comes to posting your gang affiliations or criminal activities to social media. This story was pieced together with a lot of hidden details that were under the surface. Unlike some of the more modern feuds where rappers make it easy for me, calling out dead ops by government name on every song. In my opinion, Young Thug is very smart in the way that he makes his art. His slime and slap branding and imagery do a lot to hint towards and conjure up a feeling and a vibe of gang culture and activities, without his songs being crammed wall to wall with overly incriminating lyrics or direct incitements to violence. Young Thug's music is still lit without having to put dozens of directly verifiable references to real crimes in his songs. And listen rappers, if you don't mention your dead ops by their real names on your songs, people like me aren't going to Google them. Now, YFN Lucci's music isn't particularly incriminating, but his social media activity might just be the thing that takes him down. Your songs aren't really a safe place to talk in detail about the real life dirt and crimes that you've done in the streets, and I tell you what, neither is your Instagram page or your YouTube channel. Because once this information is out there, you can't take it back. You can't get it taken down. It's forever. It's out there now, and it won't take long for it to be found. By the fans, by the feds, and by annoying internet detectives like me. So today's lesson is don't commit crimes, don't join gangs, and if you do, for the love of God, don't put it on Instagram. Hope you enjoyed today's story. Hope you found it interesting. I want to thank everybody who has been supporting the channel recently. Shout out all of the patrons.
Well, that's it for right now, y'all. We can come back later. We're gonna start a new one. Well, y'all want to see this one? We'll talk. I'll see though. But yeah. Yeah, just make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, bro. Let me know what y'all think, bro. I already know that y'all crazy. So, let me know what y'all think.